Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Thoby-Lee, and this is Thoby-Lee Talks. So today we are going to be speaking about Nota Baloyi. Nota Baloyi has been having a lot to say about the murder of AKA. First and foremost, before we get any further, I would like to extend my heartfelt condolences to his family and all of his friends and his fans. This was a horrific act of crime, and I really hope he rests in power. I pray that God covers his family. I pray that God covers his daughter and protects them in this time, protects their minds, protects their eyes, as we've seen that so many images have come out, gruesome videos of what happened on the night that AKA lost his life. And I just want to say that no family deserves to see their loved one go down like that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody needs to see that. But in any case, this is where we are, and it is heart-wrenching. So Nota Baloyi has been taking to his social media accounts as per usual, giving his 2 cents on what has happened to AKA. According to him, he believes strongly that AKA's friends have sold him out. Now, say what you want about Nota Baloyi, but one thing that you can't say about him is that he is not intelligent. His intelligence is definitely there. Maybe he's a little bit too intelligent because he seems to never be able to read the room, and he just seems to get on a lot of people's nerves. But anyways, we are not here for that. I just want to lay down a few facts, not a lot, but just a few facts, and then we can decide for ourselves whether or not we can listen to what he has to say. First and foremost, I think one thing that disheartened me quite a bit when I first heard this whole story was the fact that I'm assuming, I don't know if they made up before Friday, but up until what we know, Nota and AKA have not been on good terms. They have not been on speaking terms. I'm gonna put a video in right here.
Bumped into Nota, and there's some real personal shit that he did. The day after Anele passed, he flew to Cape Town, right, and was there with me, with my family, spent time with my family, with my mom in the kitchen, me crying my eyes out on the couch, all of that stuff. And then he came back, and he used all of that information that he gained as a friend to try and destroy me. So for me, I think I'm a better Christian now. I've really found a lot of solace in God,
Psycho or the village genius, and even if he is the village psycho, that does not mean that everything that he is saying needs to be just, taken for granted and taken as somebody who does not know what they are talking about. I mean, was he some kind of attention whore? Yes, he was. Does he do things for clout? Yes, he does. Does he love attention? Does he berate women? Yes, he does all of the above, but we cannot, I repeat, we cannot negate everything that Nota is saying, because I don't know, some of it is ringing a little bit true. I mean, there are so many conspiracies surrounding the death of AKA, and after the CCTV footage was released, there's just a lot to think about and there's a lot to read. We know that body language does not lie. I am not saying that his friends were involved, but I'm just saying that we cannot completely rule them out just because we think that Nota is a crazy attention whore. We need to apply some critical thinking here, and everybody is a suspect. I mean, everybody. We need to suspect everybody: the driver, the friend, the best friend, the waiter, the waitress, the owner of the restaurant, the person who put the chairs outside, the people who were recording during the day. Everybody is a suspect at this point. I think that's how a successful investigation works. But this is South Africa, so we don't really know what is going to happen and what is going to be. We don't know what's going to come up. So as I was watching Nota's stories, he then off ramps, like right, he off ramps, and he starts talking about how all of AK's friends are K words. I will not say the word, but he's out here like, yeah, all of AKA's friends are Ks, and we know how jealous Ks are of coloreds. The coloreds need to look into what happened to a boy. This is your only colored star. You need to get your revenge. You need to, like, how are we solving violence with more violence? How do you think that you inciting some kind of race war between colored and black people is going to bring justice and is going to get to the bottom of what's happening here? Whatever's happening here, of which I can't even rule it out because we can't rule anything out, but I just feel like it has nothing to freaking do with color. I think that AKA was loved, and nobody hated AKA because he was colored. Like, honestly, Nota, that one is just, come on, man. He goes on to say that, hey, colored people must tell what they must. Literally, like, are you trying to start a war? I don't know. He went on to explain how he was brought up in a colored neighborhood. I was brought up in a colored neighborhood. I stayed in Yesterda's for quite a few years. Yesterda's is literally right next to Mamelodi, and it's literally colored and it's literally black people right there next door. I have never seen any type of violence in my years staying there. I've never seen any type of violence between black people and colored people. I feel like colored people live their own lives, black people live their own lives, colored people had their own. And forget that I'm not saying that we are perfect. I'm not saying that there is no issues there, but I definitely think that Nota is trying to push many narratives, and he can't push all the narratives. He can't push the narrative that it's blacks against coloreds. He cannot push the narrative that it's about profiting off of AKA's music. It could be any of those things, but I mean, he's pushing all the agendas. It's either they killed him because he was colored, they killed him because they were jealous of him, they killed him because they wanted to do music, they wanted to profit off of his music after his demise, they killed him because of what he did to Nelly Tembe. There's a lot of conspiracies going, but I just want to kind of highlight what Nota said. So basically, he is literally pushing this narrative of his friends were the ones that set him up. And I have to say, I honestly believe it. I honestly believe it. So he gets back on the right path in his reasoning, because as much as we want to negate what he says, we cannot ignore what we saw on that tape. There was some dodgy as body language. It was so dodgy. I think one thing that we can all agree on is that AKA was left extremely vulnerable in that position and extremely unprotected for the caliber of artist that he is. I expected more from his friends, and I expected more from his bodyguards. I expected more from his team. I think that maybe we become too familiar with our artists, and we think that they are guys next door, and they're not. These are high profile people. These are people that have a lot to lose, and these are people that are very public with their lives. So protection is number one. It's so sad. He really didn't even stand a chance against that whole thing that happened. It all happened so quickly. I think that even though we know that it happened, we all need to accept that it happened, but I would have loved to see some kind of protection on his side. I would have loved to see somebody on his side firing back. I would have loved to see somebody protecting him. I did not see that, and that makes me extremely sad. It makes my heart pain so much. Yeah, so I mean, he was on his own in that moment and he was ambushed, and we can only pray and hope that justice will be served and that he will be served some type of justice in the system that we are operating in. I really hope that his killers will be brought, they will be booked, and they will be questioned, and we will get the answers that we need as a country. So yes, this is it. I mean, it's so heavy. It's honestly so heavy, but that is all I have to say for today. We'll speak about this some more on another day. We'll go deeper into this topic. I know that this topic is not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So I will see you next time. Goodbye. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more content like this.